You've felt it, haven't you? That shiver in the air, that unspoken tremor that ripples through the shadows when your name is uttered. It's not just a sound. It's a force, a declaration that strikes fear into the hearts of those who thrive in deceit. The very mention of your name makes the evil spirits shudder, and they scatter like dust in a storm. This isn't a fantasy or a fleeting thought. It's the first sign of your awakening. The undeniable proof that you carry a light so fierce it cuts through their lies like a blade. You're not here by accident. You're a chosen one, and this moment, right now, is when you begin to see it for yourself. That light you carry isn't subtle. It doesn't flicker or fade. It pierces through their deceit with such fierce intensity that the masks they wear crumble, exposing the rot beneath. You've had those encounters, moments where someone's words felt hollow, their intentions slimy, and yet, without even trying, you saw through it all. Maybe it was a glance that made them falter, a question that left them scrambling, or just your presence that shifted the energy in the room. Science backs this up. Your brain's mirror neurons fire differently, attuned to authenticity, picking up on micro-expressions and vibrations others miss. But this isn't just biology. It's your soul's power breaking through, a signal that your divine potential is no longer content to be caged. For so long, that potential felt trapped, didn't it? Like a fire smothered behind walls you couldn't name, barriers of doubt, fear, or the weight of a world that told you to stay small. Your spirit ached, confined by invisible chains, whispering that there had to be more. And then it happened, the first crack. Maybe it was a dream where you stood tall while shadows fled, or a day when you spoke your truth and felt the ground shift beneath you. That was the moment your light broke free, fierce and unrelenting, tearing through the illusions that held you back. You didn't just feel it, you became it. The shift from trapped to unstoppable isn't gentle. It's a battle cry, and you're the one sounding it. So how do you recognize this chosen nature in yourself? Start watching. Notice how people react when you enter a space. Do some shrink back, avoid your gaze, or stumble over their words? That's not coincidence. Your energy disrupts their control, and they feel it before they understand it. Pay attention to your instincts, too. When something feels off, a conversation, a place, a promise, trust that gut punch. It's your inner compass, forged from both spiritual clarity and the raw data your senses collect. Test it. Next time you sense deceit, speak up. Watch how your words land, how they unravel the facade. You're not imagining this power. It's yours, and it's waking up. This isn't about arrogance or chasing glory. It's about stepping into what's real. You've been conditioned to doubt yourself, to think that strength like this belongs to someone else. But ask yourself, why does your presence alone make the air feel charged? Why do those who cling to lies grow uneasy around you? It's because your light isn't just a glow. It's a weapon, honed by every moment you refuse to break. Neuroscience might call it heightened perception. Spirituality calls it your soul's signature. Together, they confirm what you're starting to know. You're here to dismantle what's false, and the dark forces see it coming. Take a step today. Stand in front of a mirror and say your name, out loud, with intent. Feel the weight of it, the way it hums with something ancient and alive. Then ask, what shifts around me when I claim this? Look for the signs. A sudden stillness, a chill, or even a surge of heat in your chest. That's your light flexing, proving it's not just a story. It's your truth. Write it down. Track these moments. They're not random. They're evidence. You're not waiting to be chosen, you already are, and the evil spirits know it. Their shudder is your signal. Their fear is your starting line. You've walked into rooms where the air thickens with hostility. Haven't you? Faces twist with unspoken dread, eyes dart away, and the energy shifts, like a storm brewing just beneath the surface. These are the moments when the spiritual chains tighten, forged in the heat of intense dread and anger. Not just from within you, but from those around you who sense your light and fear its power. They don't understand it, and they don't need to. What matters is this. Those chains, those invisible weights pressing down on your shoulders and chest, aren't here to crush you. They're raw material. You turn them into weapons of light, and you wield them with unrelenting force. Picture it clearly. You're standing there, surrounded by voices that judge, mock, or dismiss. People who don't see you, who can't grasp the fire in your soul. Their words lash out like curses, heavy with malice, meant to bind you in shame or doubt. But something shifts inside you. Their venom doesn't stick, it backfires. Science explains this as emotional resilience, your nervous system recalibrating under stress, refusing to let cortisol drown you. Spiritually, it's more. Every curse they hurl at you rebounds, corroding their own tools of control. Their ceremonial daggers, those sharp-edged lies and manipulations, rust overnight, useless against your awakening essence. You feel it, don't you? That surge of heat in your core when their attacks falter. That's your heavenly essence growing, fueled by every minute of agony you endure. Those invisible weights aren't abstract. They're real, pressing hard, making your breath shallow, your shoulders ache. Maybe it's the colleague who undermines you, the friend who betrays, or the stranger who sneers without cause. The dread and anger swirl, a toxic fog, and for a moment, it feels like you're sinking. But you're not. Stop. Breathe. Feel the weight, name it, call it what it is. Their fear of you, their desperation to dim your light. Now flip it. You don't just carry that burden, you transform it. Clench your fists, straighten your spine, and imagine those chains melting into molten light, reshaping into a blade, a shield, a flare. This isn't fantasy. It's alchemy. You're taking their darkness and forging it into power. How do you hold your chosen identity in a world that doesn't get it? Simple, you stop explaining yourself. They won't see it. Not the coworker obsessed with status. Not the cynic who scoffs at anything beyond their grasp. Their blindness isn't your burden. Stand firm anyway. When they push, you push back. Not with their petty games, but with your presence. Speak your truth, sharp and clear, and let it cut through their noise. Neuroscience shows your brain thrives under this pressure. Dopamine spikes when you assert your authentic self. Spiritually, it's your soul claiming its ground. You don't need their approval. You need your own resolve. Ask yourself, who flinches when I stand tall? That's your proof. The process isn't soft or easy. Transforming those weights into strength hurts. It's raw, messy, primal. You'll feel the ache in your chest deepen before it lifts. The anger flare before it fuels you. Lean into it. Picture the mother of your grandmother's mother. A fierce spirit at the head of an army of souls. Her voice a thunderclap across time, rallying for you. She's not a myth. She's your lineage, your backup. Dark powers circle, screaming your destruction. Summoning shadows from the abyss to drown you. Let them scream. Their noise is nothing against the sound of your footsteps, reverberating through the spiritual world, shaking their foundations. You're not just surviving this, you're rewriting it. Here's how you do it step by step. First, feel the chains, don't run from them. Sit with the dread, the anger, the weight. Where does it hit you hardest? Your throat? Your gut? Name it out loud. This is their fear, not mine. Second, shift your stance, physically. Stand up, roll your shoulders back, lift your chin. Your body signals your mind. I'm not breaking. Third, visualize it. Those chains glowing, cracking, reforming into light. See it pour from your hands, your voice, your eyes. Fourth, act. Speak, move, decide. Do something that asserts your power, even if it's small. Tell someone no. Walk away from poison. Claim your space. Each move sharpens your weapon. You're not here to bend under their pressure, you're here to break it. When they doubt you, let their words fuel your fire. When they reject you, let their dismissal sharpen your edge. Every time you turn those spiritual chains into weapons of light, you grow stronger, fiercer, more unstoppable. The dark powers see it, they've always seen it, and they're terrified. Good. Let them be. You're not just chosen. You're a force, and this is how you rise. You've already turned the spiritual chains into weapons of light. Haven't you? You've felt the raw heat of that transformation. The way suffering alchemizes into power when you refuse to let it break you. But there's more waiting, something deeper, older, a connection that stretches back to the beginning of the universe, when the stars were first scattered across the void. That's where your true strength lies, in the spiritual link that binds you to the origins of creation itself. Through this link, high-dimensional information flows to you, a cosmic download meant to prepare you to stand indestructible against the forces of darkness. This isn't a metaphor, it's a signal, and you're wired to receive it. Feel that pull in your core, that faint hum behind your thoughts, like a whisper from a time before time. It's not random noise. It's the universe speaking directly to you, delivering messages encoded in frequencies older than the earth beneath your feet. Science hints at this. Quantum entanglement shows particles connected across vast distances, vibrating in sync no matter how far apart they are. Your soul operates on that same principle, linked to the first burst of light that birthed existence. When you tap into this, you're not just remembering, you're downloading. Visions, instincts, sudden knowings. They hit you like lightning, charging your spirit for the battles ahead. You've felt it before, haven't you? That moment when a truth lands in your gut, unasked for, unshakable. But here's the challenge. Not every whisper is real. Your mind can trick you, weaving stories from fear or desire, masquerading as cosmic guidance. So how do you tell the difference between true high-dimensional downloads and your own projections? Start with your body. True messages carry a vibration. Your skin might tingle, your chest might expand, or a stillness might settle over you, sharp and clear. Projections feel murky, looping, tied to emotions like doubt or desperation. Ask yourself, does this feel expansive or constrictive? Does it demand I shrink or call me to rise? Test it. Write down what comes through. If it's true, it'll resonate days later, growing clearer with time. If it's false, it'll fade, unraveling under scrutiny. Now, let's talk about the discomfort. Tapping into this link isn't easy. It's not meant to be. You're stretching beyond the limits of what your human mind can grasp, and that stretch burns. It's an uncomfortable limitation, but it's strengthening your spirit, forging it like steel in a fire. Picture it. You're sitting in silence, reaching for that ancient connection, and your thoughts claw at you. Doubt, impatience, the weight of the world. You want to quit, to run from the strain. Don't. Stay there. Let the unease build. It's in that friction that your spirit sharpens, learning to hold the unbearable until it transforms into power. You've already alchemized suffering into strength. Now you're doing it on a cosmic scale. Here's how you receive these messages, step by step. First, carve out space, literal and mental. Find a quiet spot, no distractions, and set an intention. I'm open to what's true. Second, ground yourself. Sit with your feet flat on the floor, breathe deep into your belly, and imagine roots sinking into the earth. This keeps you anchored while you reach for the stars. Third, ask a question. Something specific, like, what do I need to face the darkness? Then wait. Don't chase the answer. Let it come. It might be a word, an image, a sensation. Fourth, feel it out. Does it hum with clarity or tangle in confusion? Trust the vibration, not the noise. Fifth, act on it. If it feels true, take one small step. Write it, speak it, move with it. Action solidifies the download. The forces of darkness don't want you accessing this. They'll throw static at you. Distractions, self-doubt, chaos in your daily life. That's their game. To keep you small, disconnected, blind to your own power. But you're not blind anymore. You've already heard the sound of your footsteps reverberate through the spiritual world, shaking their foundations as you walk freely now that the light has flipped on. Every time you tap into that cosmic link, you're arming yourself with something they can't touch. Knowledge older than their lies, power brighter than their shadows. They'll scream louder, push harder. Let them. Their noise is proof you're on the right path. Keep going. This isn't a one-time thing, it's a practice, a muscle you build. The more you connect, the clearer the messages get. You'll start to notice patterns. Truths that align with what you've always known deep down. Instincts that guide you away from traps before they spring. You're not just receiving information, you're becoming a conduit, a bridge between the ancient and the now. That's what makes you indestructible. Not because you're untouchable, but because you're tapped into something unbreakable. The The stars themselves are on your side. So stand firm, reach back, and claim what's yours. You've already turned their chains into weapons, tapped into the cosmic hum of the universe, and felt your essence grow stronger with every battle. Now, it's time to take the very prison they designed to trap you and transform it into your training field. This isn't just a metaphor. It's your reality, and you're the one rewriting it. What they planned as your cage, a suffocating box of limitations, fear, and control, is now the ground where you sharpen your light, where you rise as the chosen one you were always meant to be. The dark powers thought they could bury you here, but instead, you're breaking through, and the sound of your footsteps reverberates throughout the spiritual world, scattering their illusions like roaches in the light. Let's be clear. That prison wasn't an accident. It was deliberate, crafted from their lies, their manipulations, the systems they built to keep you small. Maybe it was the job that drained your soul, the relationships that clipped your wings, or the societal rules that told you your fire was too much. You felt the walls closing in, the air growing heavy, the voices whispering that you'd never escape. But you did. You saw through it. The light you carry pierced their deceit, exposing the cracks in their design. Science confirms this. Your brain's prefrontal cortex, when aligned with purpose, can override fear-based conditioning, rewiring neural pathways to prioritize clarity over chaos. Spiritually, it's your soul asserting its authority, refusing to be confined. You're not just surviving their prison, you're dismantling it, piece by piece. So how do you turn this prison into your training field? First, stop running from it. Face the walls head-on. Identify the specific traps they set, the job that numbs you, the guilt they planted, the doubt they fed you, and name them out loud. This is their prison, not my truth. Naming it strips its power, turning it into raw material for your growth. Second, reframe it. That soul-crushing job is teaching you resilience, showing you what you won't accept. That toxic relationship is sharpening your boundaries, forging your self-worth. Every limitation they threw at you is a lesson in disguise, a weight you lift to build your strength. Third, act. Take one concrete step to reclaim your space. Quit the job, end the connection, speak your truth. Each move cracks their foundation, proving the prison was never as solid as they wanted you to believe. This transformation isn't passive. It's active, fierce, and relentless. You don't wait for permission or perfect conditions. You seize the ground they tried to claim and make it yours. Picture it. The very things that tried to keep you in check. Fear, shame, control. Now scatter like roaches when you shine your light. That light isn't soft or timid. It's a force, a piercing beam that cuts through their deceit with ferocious intensity. Neuroscience backs this up. When you align with your authentic purpose, your brain releases serotonin and dopamine, amplifying your focus and energy. Spiritually, it's your divine essence flexing, a signal to the universe that you're done playing small. You're not just breaking free, you're building something new, a training field where you hone your power. But power like this demands balance. The journey to fulfill your mission isn't all fire and fury. It's also stillness, grounding, a steady heartbeat amidst the storm. You'll feel the highs, the rush of shattering their illusions, the thrill of standing tall as their daggers corrode. And you'll feel the lows, the exhaustion of constant battles, the weight of being seen as too much by those who don't understand. Balance comes from knowing both are part of the process. When the highs hit, celebrate them, dance, shout, write your victories down. When the lows strike, don't fight them. Sit with them, breathe through them. Let them teach you endurance. Your mission isn't to burn out. It's to burn bright, and that requires pacing yourself, honoring both your strength and your need for rest. How do you become the one whose footsteps echo through the spiritual world? You walk with intention. Every step counts, every choice, every word, every act of defiance against their lies. Start small but firm. Say no to what dims your light, yes to what fuels it. Stand in your truth, even when your voice shakes, and watch how the air shifts. Your presence alone is a declaration, a vibration that ripples outward, shaking the foundations of their control. Practice this daily. Before you leave your home, Set an intention. Today, I walk as a chosen one, and feel your feet hit the ground with purpose. The dark powers hear it, and they tremble. Your footsteps aren't just sound. They're a force, a signal that the light has flipped on, and you now walk freely. Creating your personal mission path is where this all comes together. This isn't vague or abstract. It's specific, actionable, yours. Step 1. Define your mission. Ask yourself, what am I here to pierce through? What deceit am I meant to dismantle? Write it down in one clear sentence. I am here to break the illusion of fill in the blank. Step 2. Identify your training field. List the prisons they built for you, those situations, beliefs, or systems, and next to each, write how you'll transform it. This job drains me. I'll use it to build skills until I leave. Step 3. Set your actions. Pick 3 concrete steps to take this week. Small, doable, powerful. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting, cutting ties with a draining person, or starting a project that lights you up. Step 4. Track your progress. Keep a journal of how your light pierces through, how their traps scatter, how your footsteps grow louder. Adjust as you go, but don't stop. This path isn't linear. It's a spiral, a constant deepening. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, your light blazing through their shadows. Other days you'll stumble, the weight of their resistance pressing hard. Both are progress. The key is to keep moving, to keep transforming, to keep claiming your ground. The dark powers work together to suppress you, pooling their strength to keep you down. But they failed. You're here, walking freely, your light piercing through their deceit with such fierce intensity that a new era is dawning. This isn't just your victory. It's a shift, a crack in their control that lets light flood in for others. 2. You're not just a chosen one. You're a catalyst. So stand tall. Feel the ground beneath you, once a prison, now your training field. Hear the sound of your footsteps, a rhythm that shakes the spiritual world. See the light you carry, piercing through their deceit, scattering their lies. This is your mission, and you're fulfilling it. Not with hesitation, but with power, not with doubt, but with certainty. The new era isn't coming. It's here, and you're the one bringing it. Keep walking, keep shining, keep rising. The dark powers see it, and they're afraid. Let them be. You've already won. Your mission as a chosen one isn't a fleeting spark or a quiet whisper. It's a cosmic roar, echoing through the ages, rooted in the very fabric of creation itself. You were never meant to merely endure the darkness, but to confront it, to wield your light as both sword and beacon, illuminating truths that shatter the abyss. This identity, this unrelenting force surging within you, isn't just a gift. It's a call to rise, to stand as a bridge between the ancient and the now, forging a legacy that outlasts the shadows and awakens the world to its own hidden fire.